Welcome friends. In this video, we are going to discuss how to handle exception theoretically, as well as we are going to have its a practical demonstration. As exception handling is very important in Java programming, please watch this video till the end and don't forget to like and share the video. If you are new to this channel, you also subscribe the channel so that you can get such videos from my side. So let us start our journey to understand how to handle exceptions in Java programming. In previous video we have already seen what is exception. Now if you have missed the previous video, I have given the links below. Please click on it, watch the previous video, try to understand what is exception, and then come back and watch this video to see how to handle the exceptions. Because we have already divided exception handling topic in two parts. In part number 1, we are understanding what is exception, and in part number 2, we are trying to handle the exception. So already we have seen how exception occurs and what is exactly meaning of exception. So just a recap, exception we have understood till now is exception is a runtime problem. When you start to execute the program, at that time some abnormal behavior occurs, that is known as exception. So it is an abnormal behavior of program at runtime, and it is also known as abnormal termination of program in between. Your program is terminated in between without finishing its complete code of line. So we have to avoid such exceptions by using exception handling. So if you want to see the demonstration, please go to the previous video, watch it and come back again. Now let us move ahead. How to handle the exception? The main objective of exception handling is to prevent your abnormal termination of program. Even though exception occurs, we have to continue the remaining part of program to execute. We have to allow to execute the same. Otherwise what happens, even though you are having a larger program, your program will be terminated in between. To avoid this, we have to handle the exception. So the first and main objective of exception handling is to trap all the exceptions and avoid abnormal termination of program. Now exception handling has its own process. Initially, we will try to understand what is this process. In short, in exception handling we have to find out what are the doubtful statements in your program. So if you see the previous video, we have taken one small program for practical where we have generated purposefully an arithmetic exception by using a technique division by zero. Now such statements, as a programmer we have to find out from the program which are such statements where we have some doubts in as an exception. So finding out doubtful statements is the first step in exception handling. Once you find out all these exceptions, then we have to use try and catch blocks. Now we have to understand what is a try block and what is catch block. So try block is a block given for all doubtful statements where you feel that there is a possibility of an exception. Then such statements has to be written in a try block. So try block name itself, it suggests it will try to execute this statement. If it has some exception, that exception will be thrown from the try block. In previous case, when we were not using try and catch blocks, at that time what is happening? Exception is occurred and that is thrown from the program and JVM directly terminates your program. In this case what we are doing, we are putting a try block. If exception occurs, that will be thrown from the try block and not from the program. So the remaining part of program will continue. Suppose try block contains 3 lines and at 3 statements and exception occurs at second statement, then remaining statement in a try block will not execute. So instead of termination of entire program, whenever exception occurs, only that particular try block execution will be terminated and that exception will be thrown from the try block and which will be trapped in catch blocks. Now catch blocks are used to handle the exceptions and a try block are used to write doubtful statements. So syntactically you can see here we are writing a try block and try block contains some statements. Below the try block there is a catch block. Whenever an exception will be thrown from the try block, it will be trapped in a catch block. So let us understand this try block in detail. So what is a try block? It is a container or a block for doubtful statements. It can have multiple statements, but it is recommended to use minimum number of statements because whenever exception occurs at a particular statement, remaining try block will not execute. So all statements related to the doubtful statement should be given in one try block. So if there is exception occurs, related statements will be also terminated or will be bypassed. Exception occurs, what happens? That will be thrown from the try block. It throws outside the try block, and then we are using catch blocks below the try block. So it is try block is always supported by one or more catch block. One try block can have multiple catch blocks, and then in one of that catch block your exception will be handled. Now how to handle or how to write the catch block we will see later. Exception is trapped inside a catch block, and then we have to handle the exception. We have to solve the problem, or we have to give a proper message, and then we will continue remaining part of program. So it's up to program or how to handle the exception. It depends on what type of exception is trapped, what is the severity, or what are the possible alternatives for it. Okay. For example, we can say if division by 0 is not possible, then give the message and continue the remaining program. Or division by 0 is not possible, but division by 0.0001 is possible. So we are not dividing by 0, but we are dividing nearby 0. That is also a possible solution. So it depends upon program, it depends upon the situation, how to handle the exception, whether to give a proper message and continue remaining part of program, or give some alternative statements so that that exception will be removed and alternatively some other value will be calculated. Similarly, we have to understand catch blocks also. Okay, so catch block is a block given after try block. That means if you don't have a try block, you cannot write a catch block. So catch blocks can be given only after try block. One catch block can handle only one type of exception at a time. So in a catch block, we are passing a class name or object of that particular exception. So one catch block can handle only one type of exception at a one time. So you can have multiple catch blocks. If you are having a doubt of possibility of multiple types of exception, you can write all those exceptions by using different catch blocks. For example, if you feel there is a possibility of IO exception, then you can write one catch block for IO exception. If you feel one more possibility of arithmetic exception, then you can add one more catch block for arithmetic exception. So you can have multiple catch blocks. Every catch block will be handling a particular type of exception. So number of possibilities of exception, number of catch blocks we have to write. And at the end, we have to always write one catch block that will be generalized. If all above catch blocks are not able to handle that particular exception, then it will be trapped in a last catch block where we can give a proper message that this is an exception so that user will understand and the program will not have any kind of exception or program will not have abnormal termination. We can give user-friendly suggestions. You can give user-friendly messages in a catch block. Even though we are not writing alternative statements for exceptions, we can just give the proper message and avoid abnormal termination of the program. So try and catch blocks are used for a particular exceptions. And even after catch block, even though exception occurs, remaining part of program will continue to execute. So program termination will not occur. And that is the beauty of exception handling. Even though there is an exception we are trapping in catch blocks, we are giving either alternative statements, or we are finding out solution for the exception, or we are giving a proper message to user, and then we are going to continue remaining part of program. So one program can have multiple try and catch blocks. There is no limitation. We can have n number of try blocks, n number of catch blocks as per our expectations. But it is recommended to use related statements in one try block, and in catch block also we have to write a specific code for handling a particular exception. So don't write too much statements in a try block, or don't write non-related statements in a try block, so that try block will be for a particular doubtful statements. Let us try to understand this exception handling with the help of program. So here is the program where I am modifying the previous program of arithmetic exception demo. Okay, so in previous video you have seen how arithmetic exception is generated. Now we will write exception handling for the same. Now you can see the code here. We are having an application program exception handle demo, and we are writing the code inside a main function. We are having three different variables, a, b and c. Value of a is a 10, value of b is a 0, and value of c we are calculating. Now you can see here, after declaration of variables, I am first giving one message, system.out.println before exception. Now this is statement where we don't feel any doubt about exception. Now where is the problem? Whenever we are going to calculate c is equal to a divided by b. Now whenever there is a division, value of b, if it is 0, then there is a possibility of division by 0 exception. So we are writing this c is equal to a divided by b statement inside a try block. Here you can see. And now after the try block, we are writing a catch block, and in a catch block we are writing a specific exception, arithmetic exception. As already we have seen, we can handle only one type of exception in one catch block. And what is the doubt in the statement? We are having doubt that there is a possibility of arithmetic exception, and therefore here I am writing a catch block that is dedicatedly going to handle arithmetic exception, and E is the object. So whenever try block throws this type of exception, it will be trapped inside this catch block, and the name will be E for that particular object. Okay, so it is as like as passing arguments to the function. Okay, and then inside a catch block, what I am doing, I am just giving a message exception trapped, and I am writing plus E. Now automatically it will call toString method inside exception class, and it will give all details of that particular exception. Now catch block is over, and even after end of catch block I am writing one more statement, that after exception. So whether exception will occur or not, this statement is going to execute in all cases. So here I want to show how exception is handled by using a try and catch block, as well as I am trying to show even after an exception, remaining program is going to execute. So let us have a quick demo of the same so that you can understand clearly and practically. So here I have already written this program in a notepad. Here you can observe same code I have written. Actually the same code is copied in your presentation, and now I have not installed any editor to make it simple. Now I am going to execute, run and compile the program by using command prompt, and here inside this Java test folder we are having this exception handle demo. Okay, so let us compile the program first by using javac command. Exception handle demo.java. Just press. Now there is no error, so directly program is compiled and .class file is generated. Let us execute the program, java space exception demo, and here is the outcome. Now you can watch the output of the program. Okay, so this is the first line that will be printed as it is before exception. and then the actual exception will occur here. In a try block, C is equal to A divided by B statement will try to execute. As value of B is 0, exception will be created, it will be thrown and it will be trapped in a catch block, and then this is statement from the catch block. You can read here. This is the statement that is executed by, now this is exception trapped, this is the string that we are displaying, and we are writing plus E, that will explain what type of exception is occurred. So here java.lang.arithmetic exception is occurred, and this is occurred because of division by 0. So this is the clear-cut message to the user. And you can observe later, this is executed, this is the last statement in a program that is going to display after exception. That means try block, there is an error, exception occurred, that is trapped by catch block will execute, and even after that remaining part of program will execute without termination, and the last statement in program is showing after exception message that is executed. So from this program and demonstration, it is very clear how to use a try block, how to use catch block, and how we can handle the exception. Now this is a small and quick demo of exception handling. Exception handling is not limited to using this try and catch block. Here, now the next step, we have to understand what are different exception handling classes. One more thing that we have to learn is what is the type of exception, checked exception and unchecked exception. These are two different types. Checked exceptions, these are compulsory to handle, and unchecked exceptions, these are optional. So arithmetic exception, in previous program we are not using try and catch block, but we can write such program, we can execute such program. It will be terminated abnormally, that is okay, but we can write such statements. But there are some exceptions, those are compulsory to handle for programmer, and that is, they are called as checked exception. Now one more concept, that is using finally block. So we are using try block, catch block, and after using catch block there is one more block that is called finally block. So what is finally block? What is the purpose of finally block? That part we are going to discuss in our next video. If you like this video, please put your like mark and share this video to your friends. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe my channel and you can get such videos from my side. We are also going to use other programming languages and other IT related topics. Put your comment below the video, what you learned from this video, what the value you are getting from this video. If you really want to help me, support me, then I want your comments below this video. Please put your comment below the video so that I will understand what are the suggestions from your side and what are the improvements and remaining topics on which I have to make the video. So thank you very much for watching this video.